Hello everyone, I welcome you again to a learning journey on my channel Sing Teaches AI. We'll be continuing our topic Let's Speak the Coding Language. Our agenda for today's session would be the world of loops. I hope you have gone through the topics that we had already covered. We had covered what strings are, what variables are, how do you assign any value to a variable, what are the rules of variables, types of data, different types of operations, arithmetic, logical, relationship operations. Today, our agenda is the world of loops. So we'll start talking about loops. So we studied that any time if we want to print something, we would say print. So if there is a series of outputs that we require, print one, two, three, and so on, say till print five, I'll say print 4, print 5. So here, if we run this code, it will print the output of all these files which are provided to it as an input. So here our output is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever we told it to print. Is there any easy way to do same thing? So if I have to print 100, so I'll have to use 100 lines. It would be a tedious task. In today's world, we are not that much free. So is it a way, any way with which we can do the same thing but in a shorter time with a shorter code? So the answer lies in loops. We'll be talking about loops. I'll be using comment for it. Loops. We'll talk about what is for loop. We'll talk about what is while loop. How are these different? And then we'll talk about some conditional statements. For example, there are some conditions which talk. So I'll write it as conditional statements in next line. As the name says, condition. If one condition is fulfilled, we'll move to the next. If one is fulfilled and it is true, it will print out that condition. And if the condition is false, it will check for the other condition. So in this we have if, we have if else, and we have if else if else. So what's the difference? How we use it? With examples, let's see. So first of all, we are talking about for loop. For the same output, if I want this output, how can I write it as a shorter code? So for I, where I is any integer in a range 1 to 6, where 1 is the starting term, 6 is the ending term. Print, what we have to print? We'll print I because we have given I as an input. Let's see if it runs it. Will it run? Run cell control plus enter. What it's saying? It's saying run cell control executed previously ended unsuccessfully. All right. So why it's saying so? Because we are still in the text part. What if we use this under code? So let's see if we use it under code. Now if we input line 1 for I in range, okay, our we have to use a colon in the last. That's what it was expecting. That's so we get the same answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here, as I told you, the very first digit is the starting digit. The last digit is the end digit, and the result will always be 1 minus the last digit. So if 6 is the last digit, the end digit here would be 5 in the output. Similarly, if I ask you to code for range 2 to 20, how it will go? For I in range 2, comma 20. So now you know that last digit would be 19 because it's 1 minus the digit here. So now if we print I, what it will print? It will start from 2 till 19. Hope you get this range thing. Now, how this for function operates, it divides the function into two sets. One set is this one and the another one is this one. Here, the repetition in this block, it's called repetition block, in which I keeps on changing from the first part to n minus 1 part where n is the last digit. So in this case, I will be first printed as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then n minus 1, which is 5. Similarly, two blocks. First block is the repetition block. It will repeat from 2 to 19. I will keep on changing. And the second block will just execute block after block. It will execute I will 2, then 3, then 4 with the help of this first block. So is there only one loop? Before we answer that, we can write this range in another forms also. For example, I don't want to use 220. If for same example, for this example, if I want to print from 0 to 5, what will I use? I will simply say range for I, it's for I in range. I'm not using multiple words, just one word, which is 6, print I. Now, since the starting word is not mentioned from where to start, it will default to 0. So if we run this, you will get 0 to 5. Same logic, n is n minus 1. The last digit would be minus 1, and it will start from 0. Now, what if I change the range? Three, three numerics in the range bracket for I in range. Range is 2, 23. In this case, in this case, 2 is the start point, 20 is the end point, and 3 is the step size. That means the answer would have a step size of 3, and it will range from 2 to 19. Again, minus 1, so that's why 19. Now, if we want to write, let's see how we write. So, for I in range this, print I. Again, forgot to use the colon. Here we use colon. Let's execute it. Print I indentation. So it has to be in next line. If you see the sequence, the print is never under the for. Whenever you do it in the compiler, compiler will shift this line, the next block, which we called indentation block, to the next space, next available space. So now you see it starts with 2. Step size is 3. So 2, 3 is 5, 3 is 8, plus 3, 11, plus 3, 14, plus 3, 17. Now, since it was 19 at last, therefore it did not covered 19. What if I change it to 21? Now you will see 19 would get added. Hope you understood. Sorry, it's 20, so 21, so 20 would get added. My bad. Minus 1. Another loop that we have to discuss is while loop. So in while loop, as the name says, while something is being done, you have to check. So if I provide, say I is 1, I have assigned 1 to I. Now while I is less than or equal to 10, so till I is less than or equal to 10, it will print I. The result will include, the result will include I as I plus 1. That means for every resulting block, it will add 1 to result. So first one would be as assigned 1, next would be plus 1, and next would be plus 1 again to the result. This result will get stored into I again, so on till I reaches 10. So let's execute it. It's 1, 1 gets added 2, in now 2 gets stored in I, 1 gets added, it's 3, 3 gets stored into I, and this will get executed till the condition while less than equal to 10 is finished. Now if I remove equal to, that means it will run till it is less than 10, which is till 9. Hope it's okay, understandable. For any questions or queries, you can always use the comment box. I'll be happy to assist with your queries, or you may reach out to the email address that I'll be sharing at the end of the session. You may try using other coding examples, means now you know the logic. Try doing it on your own. Now we'll be starting with conditional statements. First conditional statement that we are going to do is if statement. In if statement, if something is true, you will get the answer. In if-else statement, if statement is not true, it will move to else. How it is done, let's see. So let's take an example of blood sugar value. So let's save variable 1. I'll try to include all these 3 statements, if else, and if elif, in single statement. Let's see in a single code. So we have stored variable 1 as 115. If variable is greater than equal to 120, print sugar is high. So this is for F only. I'll go one by one. For F, all right, variable 1. So now it will run. So let's see if we could do it under code. If variable 1 is this, if variable 1 is greater than equal to 120, print sugar is high. So it's expecting something more. It is saying that, okay, I understand that if it is 120, then I'll have to print sugar is high. What if it is not? Else print sugar is normal. Will it print it? So again, the same issue, you have to make it inundated. That means not under the same line. So since it is 115, your sugar is normal. If you'll change, say, greater than equal to, if you'll change it to 125, what is the expected answer? It's executing. Trying to execute. Sugar is high for 125. So this is if and if else. Now, if we want to include other things also here. So what I'm trying to say. So now I'll code for sugar greater than 140 would be very high. Greater than 120 but less than 140 is high. Between 80 and 120, it's normal, and below 80, it's low sugar. So this is the problem statement. Let's jump into its code. The code part, starting the code part, we have variable one is say 121. We'll start with if variable one is greater than 140, print greater than 140 is very high. I'm not writing the complete statement sugar is very high, just very high will be printed. Else if variable is greater than equal to 120, print high. Obviously sugar is high. Else if variable is less than 80, we'll print normal. No, less than it is low. So it is low. And what if anything else? That means it would be normal part. So anything else would be, which is 80 to 120, print normal. So we know 121 lies at high. So let's see if this shows us high. It is executing if variable greater than variable is not defined. Let's change all to variable one. Sure, variable one. Sure. So let's see now if it works. High. That's the expected answer. Can we check if can we check if a number is odd or even? So check if a number is odd or even. So variable one, we have saved variable one as 21. If variable one, what is modulus? That means your remainder, whatever remainder. Variable one, when modulated by 2 becomes 0, that means remainder becomes 0. Then we'll print it as even. Else else we'll print it as odd. So let's see what 21 is. Variable 1 modulated by, let's provide a space here. Cannot assign to expression. Maybe you meant, yes, I meant double. Thanks for letting me know. So the answer is odd. What if I change it to 22? It is even. So this code checked and provided you the answer. I hope you have already heard about what factorial is. So factorial of any number, if you want to see factorial of any number, so for example, in this case, let's say it is 5. So what factorial is? If I say 5 factorial, it is represented by 5 and exclamation sign. It means 5 into its decreasing order, which is 5, 4, 3, 3. No, I don't want snipping tool. Thank you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So this is a factorial of a number. Going on to our example, variable 1, I have provided value of 6 to variable 1. Factorial is set to 1. Initial value for I in range 1, variable var1 which we have stored in plus 1. That means what the number is plus 1. So 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Factorial will be, in factorial, what will be saving? In factorial, will save factorial into the value in I, whatever it's changing. It will change to 1 to 7 because it will be doing till 6. So it will move to 7. Then let's print factorial. So you see 6 factorial will be 720, which is 1 into 2. So the answer would be 720. Similarly, 5 factorial is 120, 6 factorial is 720. So it will provide you factorial of all the numbers. Any questions or queries? Please write it in the comment box. Hope you like the session. This is Sing Teaches AI. You can reach out to singteachesai@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to assist with your queries. Till we meet again in the next video. Thank you and take care. Bye bye.